Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. KenishaMcAnally, Ignite Wholeness. Today I just wanted to share part 3 on parenting, which is the enabling parent. Well, I'm speaking totally from experience because that's what I became, the enabling parent. What is an enabling parent? Well, a parent that keeps people stuck, really, in a place of them not being able to move forward. It's not that we're doing it purposefully. We feel like we're doing it, well, I know on my own self and how I was one of those enabling parents. I thought I was protecting my children. I was protecting them from not having anything, from not being able to move forward. Well, that's what I thought. That if I allowed them to do this, or I gave them the money to continue on the journey that's not really helpful for them, I thought I was protecting them and keeping them safe. But realistically, I wasn't keeping them safe and I wasn't keeping myself space. So this creates room for our children, or even our partners, whoever it may be that we're enabling. It's showing them that we don't really have that respect for ourselves. And here we go back to respect and boundaries, which we don't, because by being enablers, we're also protecting ourselves in that situation. It's depending on the environment that you grew up on, what structures you had around you growing up. And mine were pretty erratic, and I was the people pleaser, and I'm got videos coming up on our 8 personality traits that we get along our pathway from childhood. So I became this enabling child to keep the peace around in the house, to put myself aside, to allow bad habits to continue and cover them up. For I was saying to myself it was for the safety of them. But in a realistic term, when I'm looking at it and speaking about it now, I was protecting myself. That was another form of me of how to protect myself. So I enabled. And when it came to those years where teenagers started experimenting and drinking and taking drugs or whatever they were doing out there, there was quite a few occasions that one of my children was sneaking out and doing these things behind my back, and I was getting phone calls from the schools that they'd had a drunk or whatever else condition she was in. So I'd bring her home hoping she'd get the worst hangover and never ever want to do anything like that again. That never happened. She never got a hangover. So what I got out of all of that was, well, it'll be safer for her to drink at home, where I can be watchful and keep an eye on her, so she's not sneaking around in the bushes and putting herself in some precarious situations that might not turn out really well in the long run. So this is where I started to enabling, by allowing the drinking under my roof. And I was mindful about what they did drink and how much they did drink. But that never works really either, because they were sneaking in when I was asleep and drinking. The funniest night was the bottle of ouzo my friend and I had, and we had half a bottle sitting up on the cupboard. And when we got home, we noticed that it was really, really cloudy. We thought, oh, ouzo doesn't go like that unless you put something in it. We'd realised the kids had hooked into it, and then they put some water in it to fill it up and made it cloudy, so they got caught out. But on saying that as well, I do remember getting into my dad's whiskey, and then I'd fill it up with tea so he wouldn't notice. But the tea didn't make it cloudy, it didn't really discolour it. Just probably lowered the quantity, probably made it quite a nice taste actually, made it smooth. So this is where I became the enabler, thinking that I was keeping my children safe by giving in to them, giving them what they wanted, letting them continue in their bad behaviours, letting them continue to drink or smoke or do drugs, And then it was like, oh yeah, here's the money, go get it. Oh, here's this. And I'd always leave myself behind because I've never really had much in life, but I've got a lot, like I've always said. I've got a massive heart, and I always have the basic needs and everything I need, and I have all this beauty around me. So I'm happy in all of that. So I would give away everything that I had just because I thought I was keeping them all safe. So I kept enabling the abuse, the phone calls, the threats of what was going to happen if I didn't do this or if I didn't do that. Also not wanting them to walk away thinking I am a horrible person or whatever it takes, but it ended up anyway, I was that. So everything that I enabled, I am trying to get those birds that are swimming around out the back there too. So I was that enabler, and I continued on enabling all up until just recently, to be honest. And I realised I had to set some strong boundaries. And I realised by being that enabling parent, I wasn't actually allowing my children to grow. I also wasn't probably allowing them to know that they could trust in themselves, whatever situations that they got into, that they could get out of. So I did become this great big enabler, which in the long run was not healthy for any of us, not any of us at all. It just kept us stuck in that Groundhog Day, living that same day, that same situations over and over again, the same thing. And me always telling myself, no more, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm going to let him stand up for himself. I'm not going to be a part of whatever they're getting into or anything else like that. But I still continued. I still continued to enable. Like I said, it's just taken me up till recently now to say no, to put that away, because I was that people pleaser. I did want to keep the peace. I didn't want to make anybody unhappy. But all in all, I was just enabling the bad behaviour to continue to go on, and for growth not to happen. So I just repeated all that part of it because I think that's really important. Us enabling parents that think we're doing the right thing by letting our children throw their stuff all over the house and the floors and the rooms, not contribute to any of the housework or tasks, or it doesn't matter how they speak to us, because I have heard a lot of the kids say we're in the age of disrespect now. We disrespect everything. Well, that's not good enough either. So we're enabling them by allowing them to keep the showers dirty and their clothes everywhere and to run in and out and to get the money off us whenever they need it, take our phones, take all of our privacy, take everything, all in the thinking that we're guilty, that we owe them, so we enable them. We think we're keeping them safe, we think it's healthy, but realistically, we are unhealthy. We are not showing them how to grow up and take full responsibilities for themselves and their actions. So this is where us enabling parents have to step back and learn to say no. Feel that fear and say no. It's quite okay to say no, and it is going to feel a bit yucky at first, especially when you're not used to it. Slowly by time you will get used to it. And what you got to do when you start to feel guilty because you have said no and you're not giving away your last penny and you're not going to allow them to come into the home and disrupt it and drink and do drugs and trash it all over, or because you're thinking they're safe, you're going to learn to stand up, get them to pick up after themselves, get them to learn what respect and morals is again in this world. And that's what we're lacking, and that's what we need. And like I said before, we are not protecting ourselves or our children. We are not keeping ourselves safe in any form of fashion. All we're doing is keeping us stuck in unhealthy mental patterns that we have to learn to let go of. And these patterns become part of our nature. So this is where it becomes harder as well to move forward, because we've already built it into our nature. It's in our nature. And then we also have that nervous regulation system. Our nervous system starts going all over the place when we start standing up and be strong. That's where we do slip back again a few times. And I've said before, it's okay to slip back and come forward and slip back and come forward. But as long as you notice on this journey that the more you slip back and come forward, the slip backs you're coming forward quicker. You're learning to stand up. You notice to feel, start feeling into yourself, the little improvements on how you feel when you're not feeling so guilty about saying no. When you stop enabling to keep yourself safe, to keep them safe, because we're not protecting them when we're not helping them move forward to become the adults that's what we're meant to do anyway. So this is what I wanted to put out there today about part 3, us enabling parents. We can move forward from it all. And once again, I do have subliminal hypnotherapy meditations on my YouTube channels that also help you release all those negative thoughts and beliefs that you've held on to. They do it on a subconscious, unconscious level, and they take away what you don't need anymore, and they fill you up with all those positive suggestions. You don't even realize at first that anything's happened, but as you move on through your days, you will start noticing within yourself that things are a little bit easier. And the more you do these meditations, the more those messages are hitting you and getting stuck in your mind and releasing all those negative ones that keep you stuck being an enabler. Not good for your health. And I also do the somatic breath work as well. So they're a bit shorter than the meditations. They're quicker ones. They help to get through that anxiety so you don't have to feel so anxious. So when you do say no, you have stood up for yourself. You have set some of those boundaries. Well, get on there when you start feeling that little bit of a, oh no, oh I shouldn't have said it, maybe I should get back, or maybe I should do this, and maybe I should, oh no, no, no. I know how you feel, because this is where I've put myself my whole entire life. So here goes, this is what I'm saying to you right now. Be healthy, start the journey. Like, share and subscribe if you've liked this video. And I'm sure you have, and I'm sure there's plenty of people that will benefit from it all. Don't know where my light went. Who will benefit from it all. So pass it on, share it, comment, subscribe, get me up there, because I've got a lot of important information and videos already up there, and I've got a lot more to come. And I'm fully experienced in the journeys because it's a life I have lived, and I've come out a long, long way. I am still learning, there's still ways that I've got to go, but I am moving forward. I am getting there, and my life is feeling a lot more happier that I can do this journey, and I can put all this positive reinforcement information out there to everybody in the world. So I'm your therapist, life coach, wellness coach, all online, bringing you back to your inner child and doing all these things that we need to do to help us move forward. So remember, let's stop enabling, because we're not protecting, we're not keeping anybody safe, either our children or ourselves or our partners. So start looking after ourselves, and it'll be better as we move forward. Each day will become easier. So sending lots of love and light. Until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. Bye.